Ayo. Hey guys, Liana here. Happy Friday. We made it another week down. Praise the Lord. God is good. It's been a good week for me. I hope it's been a good week for you guys too. It's been really busy. There's been a lot going on. But per usual, I love my weekend, so I'm excited. So given that today is Friday and I am just kind of thinking back on the week and all that's happened and what happened, last weekend, and as I'm rolling into the new weekend, I started thinking about a lot of conversations that I've had and a lot of things that I've kind of thought about and things that I've been processing, and that kind of led me to decide that I wanted to talk today about mantras and quotes that we use and that we memorize and that we say we live by, but do we really live by them? I wanted to come on here and talk about this because I am just as guilty of this. I say that I live by certain quotes and that the quotes help me get through difficult times or when I'm in a slump. And I say that, but I realize that sometimes I say them, but I don't really mean them. Or I just say it and that's it. But I don't really realize how much weight that quote actually has, and I'm not actually living by the quote. I'm just kind of saying it and saying okay, I say it. But I know a lot of these quotes have been spoken to bring life to people, to shed light into situations for people, so that you can really hold on to that and realize, there is light at the end of the tunnel, that this too shall pass. But we say those things. I know myself, like I said, I'm just as guilty. I'll say it, but am I really thinking that? Am I taking a step and I'm thinking about it okay, this too shall pass. And when I'm in a difficult situation, am I really believing, all right, let's take it one step at a time. Let's break it down. Let's look at it because this is going to pass. And I know there's so many sayings out there, just to name a few, like I said, light at the end of the tunnel, this too shall pass. Life goes on, mind over matter, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Happiness is a choice. All of these are quotes and sayings and mantras that we hear constantly, but do we actually live by them? Do we actually think about and hold them to heart in the difficult times like we should? Or do we say we live by them and then kind of push them aside when all of those difficult times start to come up because we're stressed, we're overthinking, we're analyzing everything, and we're allowing the situation to take us down? I know for myself, I have been guilty of it. I've been in points and situations where I've been overwhelmed. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm stressed, and I totally forget what I live by. And a big one is by Sadie Rob Huff. And I've said it before, if you can't change your situation, change your mindset. And I said that was something that I was going to work on this year. And it is a quote, right? It's something that I have on my wall and it's something that I look at, but it's so easy to say it and it's not as easy to put it into practice. And I've heard over and over again, what you surround yourself with, what you put into your mind that you're constantly thinking about is what you're going to exude, basically. So if you're thinking about positivity, you're going to exude positivity. If you're thinking about, the glass is half full instead of the glass is half empty, you're going to have that positive outlook. You're going to be able to get through the difficult times. So I have really thought about this, and this last week I've gone through a lot. And although it's been a great week and I've really enjoyed it, there have been some struggles. There's been some ups and downs, and I realized I said that I live by certain things and I don't. And really what made me think about all that was going on and realizing that I don't live by every quote that I say that I do, I realized it when I heard somebody say, you need Jesus. And they weren't saying it to me. It was actually in a show. And I was laughing because of the situation that it was, that was happening as to why they said you need Jesus. And I was just laughing, but then I found myself actually stopping and thinking what does that mean? What does that mean you need Jesus? I've heard it before and I always thought it was to be offensive to somebody, you need Jesus. I'm gonna pray for you. And I always thought it was an offensive thing that they were trying to throw somebody's way. But something that I heard from Levi Lesko, and it was, you can't expect somebody who is not a Christian to act, think, or say things that you would as a Christian. He said that he had friends that he would hang around that were not Christian, and sometimes they would curse, be like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Levi, and he'd be like, it's okay, like, you don't need to apologize. I don't expect you to live your life the way I live my life, because you're not a follower of Christ. Like, your life is not the same as mine. And in that moment, everything kind of came together. Hearing him say that, and then listening to the show and hearing them say, you need Jesus, it like just clicked for me in that moment. Where when you come across somebody who maybe has done you wrong, or has said something to really hurt you, or cut you off, or just, not the nicest human being, and you're just like, ugh, I just want to say something to you. But in that moment, instead of getting upset, and it's easier said than done, but in that moment, you can regroup, collect yourself, and literally say to yourself, they need Jesus. Like, I can't hold them to the same standards that I hold myself, because I have found Jesus. I have found that love. I have found that acceptance. I have found what it means to be a follower of Christ, what it means to be Christ-like. Like, I know what that means because I have found Jesus. And not everybody has found Jesus, so not everybody is going to act the same or try to be the kindest people. We want to say that is the case, that this entire world is 100% going to be kind. What a beautiful place that would be if that was the case. But part of being the light of what we are called to be means taking the high road, means for us to be the kind person. It means for us to do what is right, to be Christ-like, and to show to others what that looks like. And when you realize that they are not acting the same way that you would expect them to, or that you're thinking they would, but the difference is you have Jesus. So when you say, you need Jesus and I'll pray for you, it's not offensive. And it finally clicked for me, and I understood. I was like, it's literally being genuine and meaning it from the heart, that you recognize they actually do need Jesus, and that you are going to pray for them in hopes that they will find him one day, in hopes that they will find the joy that you have in your life, in hopes that they will see that light and they will understand what it is to be a truly kind human being, and what it means to want to put others first, what it means to want to show that light that God is calling us to be, what it means to be a child of Christ, what it means to be Christ-like. You're going to pray for them. You know and you recognize that you cannot hold them to the same standards that you would hold somebody else who has found Jesus, because you know that they know what we should be doing, because they know what it is to be Christ-like. But somebody who has not found Jesus does not know what it means to be Christ-like. And in that moment, it just all clicked for me, and it all made sense. And I realized that's a beautiful saying, and I should live by that. I should use that. And I should say it with a kind, loving, caring heart, because that's exactly what the saying is for. I'll pray for you. You need Jesus. None of those are harsh things. None of those things are bad things. But just in line of everything else that I had said, I say these mantras and I say these quotes, and I realize that I don't take time to really apply them to my life when I need to. It's easy to do it when you're happy, when you're feeling great, but it's when you're not, when you're struggling, when you're having 1,000,000+1 things going on your plate, and then you got to add other stuff, and then you have so much going on in your head, and you have work, and you have your personal life, and you have family things coming up, and that's when it's hard. That's when it's really, really hard. But I've started challenging myself that in those moments, that's when I write it out on a piece of paper where I'm taking notes, like right on the top. I write out my quote. I remind myself, you can't change the situation, change your mindset, figure out what you are in control of. You are in control of your own happiness. Just thinking about all of those things that will help me get through the situation. And then telling myself, you need to be the light that we've been called to be. Bring that light. Speak life into people. In the moments where it's difficult, in the moments where you just want to throw in the towel and you want to say, I'm done, and you're struggling to be a Christian in that moment. Those are the times that I'm challenging myself, wherever I have to write it down. If I have to write it down on the piece of paper, I'm taking notes. If I have to text it to myself, if I just have to write it down 10 times, if I have to say it 10 times, No matter what it is that I have to do in order to speak that into existence for myself, that is what I do. Because I have really learned that what you do consistently and you see consistently, you say consistently, you are constantly around and you're exposing yourself to is what your life is going to start to resemble. So if you are going to constantly tell yourself positive things, you're going to constantly speak positive things, you're going to start to see that your life becomes more positive. So if there's a quote that you really want to live by because you really like it and you think it's very positive, you need to expose yourself to it over and over and over again. And even in the tough moments, that's exactly the time that you really need to push yourself to stop and think about and say, okay, this is the quote that I want to live by. What does it mean though? And how can I truly apply it to this moment? Because a lot of times we'll say quotes, but do we really know what they mean? For example, when I said you need Jesus, I had no idea really what that meant. Like, you could say it and like I said, I thought it was an offensive thing. I didn't realize somebody was using it to be kind and really say like, I understand you need Jesus, I'm gonna pray for you. When we're saying these quotes, do we know what they mean? Do we know the gravity that they hold? Like, how heavy is it that you're saying that quote, and how inspirational it was meant to be for people, and are we using it as such, or are we just saying them to say them? So as I was thinking about all of this, I thought, you know what? I've heard a lot of people tell me that they didn't even realize a certain quote meant something, or they never took the time to really stop and think about that quote. They were just using it just to use it because they thought it sounded cool, or they're like, oh, that's actually nice. But they didn't really stop to think about the power behind those words and the power behind our own words. So I really wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys about that, and maybe shed some light onto your quote and have you guys kind of think about, what are you allowing to have control over your life, or what are you speaking into existence? Do you truly know what that quote means? Do you truly understand the heaviness and the importance behind that quote? And is it actually having positive connotation in your life? So I've had to do that for a couple of my quotes, and I wanted to come on here and just share that with you guys, and I hope that this helps you guys evaluate what it is that you're looking at, and in tough situations, how maybe you can take control of the situation and you can use that quote that you say that you live by, and remember that we have them to lean on. Those are part of the tools that we have. So I really hope that this has been able to help you guys as it's helped me as I've evaluated my quotes. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Get out there, hopefully have some sunshine, have some fun, break away, relax, regroup, and get ready for the next week. I will talk to you later. Bye.